Hello everyone. On this video we will be looking at how to solve some practical problems using multiplication and division of decimals. Alright, so for the first problem we have a spray painting outfit is advertised for $420. It can be bought on time for 24 payments of $22.75 each. How much extra do you pay by purchasing it on the installment plan? All right, so what I want you to do is go ahead and press pause and try to solve this one on your own. All right, so I'm assuming you've already pressed pause and solved it. So let's go ahead and verify your answer. Okay, so we know that if you just pay for it outright, it will be $420. But if you pay for it of the 24 payments of $22.75, then that is just going to be $22.75 times 24 payments. Okay, so we're going to temporarily remove the decimal point. So 2,275 times 24. Okay, 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove those so we can do our next line. Oh, got that. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 2 times 2 is 4. So now we're going to go ahead and add those together. 0 plus 0, and that's 0 plus 0. 1 plus 5. 9 plus 5 is 14. And 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so now we see here we have a total of 2 decimal places. We don't have any decimal places for the decimal digits near the 24, but we do have 2 decimal places here. So we have a total of 2 decimal places. So that means we move this 2 decimal places. So our answer will be 546. Okay, but we're not completely done yet because we want to know how much extra would you pay by purchasing it on the installment plan. Okay, so that means we have to find the difference between the two prices. Okay, so we have 546 minus 420, which is equal to 126. So you pay $126 more on the installment plan. All right. So if you are still writing, feel free to press pause, but we're going to go ahead and move on to our next example. Okay. So we want to find the average weight of 5 castings that weigh 17, 21, 12, 20.6, and 23.4 pounds. Okay, so quick note here that the average is equal to the sum of the measurements divided by the number of measurements. All right, so what I want you to do is go ahead and press pause and try to solve this one on your own. All right, so I'm assuming you've already pressed pause and solved it. So let's go ahead and verify your answer. Okay, so first, in order to find the average, we're going to need the sum of the measurements, which means we have to add all of those together. Okay, so you have 17, 21, 12, 20.6, and 23.4. All right, so since some of those have decimal places and some of them don't, we're just going to fill those in with 0. So 17.0, 21.0, 12.0, 20.6, and 23.4. Now we're going to add them together. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 6 plus 4 is 10. Bring down the 0, carry the 1. Okay, 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. We have 14. So bring that there. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we lined up all of our decimals when we add or subtract. So that means our answer decimal falls in line with the rest. Okay. So now we know we have a total of 5 measurements. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have our sum of the measurements here. Okay, so now we just plug those in to find our average. Okay, so your average is going to equal the sum of the measurements, which is 94.0, divided by the number of measurements, which is 5. We have 5 measurements. Okay, so we go ahead and just rewrite that. So 94.0 divided by 5 is just 94.0 divided by 5. Okay, so 5 goes into 9 once. 5 times 1 is 5. Go ahead and subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. And we bring down this 4. Okay, 5 goes into 44 8 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Go ahead and subtract. Bring down that 4. And bring down that 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. 5 times 8 is 40. The remainder of 0. And this decimal point, since we didn't have to move the decimal to make this a whole number, this didn't have to move either, so we move that straight up right there. So that means our average is 18.8 pounds. All right. So if you are still writing, feel free to press pause. But we're going to do one more example. All right. So how much does 15.7 square feet of number 16 gauge steel weigh if 1 square foot weighs 2.55 pounds? Alright, so once again, I want you to press pause and try to solve this one on your own. Alright, so I'm assuming you've already worked it out, so let's go ahead and verify your answer. Okay, so what do we know? We know that 1 square foot weighs 2.55 pounds. Okay, so really that just means 2.55 times 1 for that 1 square foot. Now, if we want to know how much 15.7 square feet would weigh, 15.7 square feet weighs 2.55. Remember, that's just for 1 pound. So we multiply that by 15.7. All right, so we go ahead and we temporarily remove all the decimal places. So that's 255 times 157. And we go ahead and we multiply. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 3 is 38. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Oh, hold on. That should be 38. Sorry about that. And there we go. 14 plus 3 is 17. There you go. Glad I caught that. Okay, now we put a 0 here. We're doing 5 times 5, which is 25. Let me clear those out the way. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 is 27. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now we're starting under the 1. We place those zeros and go ahead and erase those. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, now we go ahead and we add those together. We have 5. We have 13. 7 times 7 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. Plus 5 is 20. 5 and 2 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Two plus 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. Okay, so now we know we have 2 plus 1. We have a total of 3 decimal digits. So that means we get our decimal. We move it 1, 2, 3. So that means we have 40.035 pounds for 15.7 square feet. All right, so hopefully this made sense, and I will see you on the next video.